Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of Emo Live, podcast that happens on YouTube and Twitch live from Monday to Friday at 10 p.m. I start today's episode a little worried for Salman Rushdie because we have just received news that he has been attacked right before he was about to give a speech in New York. And as someone who I don't know what to call myself. I wouldn't call myself a fan of his writing, but I am a huge fan of what he represents as an author. I have some problems with him, but generally speaking, Salman Rushdie wrote a book called Satanic Verses almost 3 decades ago, more than 3 decades ago, and he there were fatwas issued against him because of which he lives where he lives, and he has been. It is still not clear who has attacked him, but what we do know for sure is that he has been stabbed in the neck, and he's getting care now, but there is no telling what is going to happen in the coming few hours, so we shall see. The man who attacked him has been apprehended and is being questioned, etc. I suppose. I don't know why this happened, but if most people are coming to the conclusion that this has something to do with the fatwa that has been hanging on his head for 3 decades now. And it's such a shitty thing to start a weekend with. It's such a shitty thing to start an episode with, but I can't. I just like I'm not in the best state of mind right now. I'm really just looking at Twitter and trying to figure out what has happened and all that. But hey, if you are here, welcome. I probably wouldn't be very chatty today. So if you want to hang out, let's hang out. Uh, Batman Begins is here. Prabhudev is here. Agastya is here. Avinash is here. Hi guys. Hello everyone. I'm just looking at Twitter. You know, I'm just tracking Twitter to find out what has actually happened. If some news comes out about his well-being and stuff. But if you guys will keep an eye on this, and I'll tell you if I find out any news. But until then, if you have any questions, etc., feel free to leave them in the chat, and we'll talk about it. But I am feeling quite low today. I'll just clarify that. Augusta says, just heard the news. What happened was messed up. Yep. Manmat says, Vimo, I'm sad to know about Salman Rushdie. We are yet to figure out the full story. Yeah, that's true. Prosenjit says, some bad news coming out. Salman Rushdie attacked and stabbed very badly. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Apparently, there is a New York police. Hold on, I'll just show it to you guys. Apparently, there is a police press release about like clarifying what has happened. I'll just show it to you guys. Hold on. कहाँ गया? Hmm. The Twitter is so full of news, and of course, Sanghis are already jumping at this opportunity to prove their whatever point they want to make. But the point is that, hmm, what do I even say, man? This is such a sad. This is such a totally bums me out. Where is it? Why can't I find it? But anyway, yeah. So because I can't find it, I'll just tell you, which is that the New York police has said that what they can confirm is that he has been stabbed in the neck, and what he has been airlifted to medical care, and the person who stabbed him has been arrested, or whatever, detained, and that's all we know right now. And there have been statements of support from so many people. There have been statements of solidarity from other people, from writers, from other people who probably knew him. I can only imagine what his family is going through, but let's see. If anyone is trying to leave links in the chat, please don't, because it automatically goes into the spam. The settings are such that links are never showing on the chat. Augusta says, as if Sanghis never threw ink or sent death threats before. Yeah, yeah, totally. Like MF Hussain, who had to leave India after drawing paintings of Hindu gods and deities, clearly he is not an example of the same thing happening to artists who do the same thing to other religions except Islam. Rhythm says the interviewer is reported to have a head injury. Yeah, apparently. Apparently, this person jumped on the stage, ran towards Salman Rushdie, and stabbed him in the neck. It was not even clear for some time whether he was stabbing or punching him, but now it is clear that he has been stabbed in the neck. अविनाश says, "Hey विमो, मेरे पापा पिछले कुछ दिनों से टॉप टियर संघी बन चुके हैं, इतना कि जेनोसाइड भी अब उनको गलत नहीं लगता। बात करके समझाने की कोशिश करूँ तो गुस्सा हो जाते हैं। आई थिंक ही इज़ लॉस्ट." Avinash, I think you might consider trying to like moderate his media consumption habits a little bit. If this shit is all he's receiving from WhatsApp, Facebook, and everything else, then it is likely the reason behind him thinking like this. So if you can send other pieces of news towards him, etc., then maybe you'll be able to change his mind. Arav says, read a post which says privilege these days seems to mean that everything thing good a person has can be weaponized against them. What? I don't even know what that means. Privilege seems to mean that everything good a person has can be weaponized against them. That is not what it means, though. If someone is saying that is what it means, then they're clearly misreading the situation. Eman is here. Hi, Eman. Agastya is saying hi to Eman. Let me just look through Twitter once more time to see if some more news has come out. Hmm. We still, like, all the news is still saying that he's just injured. Uh, There is no report about what the nature of the injury is or something else. Puneet says, Avinash, I have the exact situation with my father. 2 दिन पहले उन्हें इन्फ्लेशन भी नहीं लग रहा था. 2 दिन पहले मतलब अब लग रहा है. Okay. Kavan says, hey Vimo, hey found family. अविनाश says, सुधीर चौधरी फैन है वो और कोई एंटी नेशनल मीडिया नहीं कंज्यूम करेंगे. हाँ तो दैट्स व्हेयर यू कम इन, राइट? You can send him stuff and force him. Like, listen, here's the thing that happens. Consuming television news is a passive activity, which means that टीवी पे जो आ रहा है उसको देखने के लिए उनको सब कुछ सर्च नहीं करना पड़ा, वो बस टीवी के सामने बैठते हैं और वो अपने आप आता है. So, what you can do is you can introduce into his daily news or information flow some things that you think might be useful to him. Don't ask him to stop watching what he watches, but just make sure that he does not watch that shit for 24 hours. And make sure at least 8 to 12 hours he also sees something else. Maybe you can just sit in front of the TV and say, मुझे देखना ही है, तुम्हें नहीं देखना तो मत देखो. Maybe he'll just be passively exposed to some stuff. Childhood says, do you think this will promote more blasphemy against Islam in USA and hatred against Muslims in USA? Because looking at freedom of speech in US, this will open a Pandora's box. Well, yeah, it is. We don't yet know all the details about what has happened, but it is likely that some complications will arise out as a result of this. I don't think it's going to result in more Islamophobia because I don't think there can be more Islamophobia. I do think this might result in more. This might provide fuel to a lot of right-wing lunatics against people who don't even agree with this kind of mentality. But yeah, some stuff will happen, and there are also going to be people who are going to celebrate this कि अच्छा हुआ वगैरह वगैरह, and it's going to get murky in the coming few days. But we need to keep our heads on straight and look at things as they progress, and then make up our minds. Knight says, hi Vimo, this week's live streams were excellent. Thank you, Knights, and also thank you for being a member. Everyone, if you want to become a member, you can become a member by clicking the join button below. Again, I'll apologize. I'm a little low on energy today because of the news that has just come in about Salman Rushdie. If you're just joining, that's why I'm speaking slowly and I'm sounding a little down. Prasenjit says, and there are bad things going on in our social media. Some groups start blaming and they same time celebration also. I think people should stay calm right now and keep away themselves from being over expressive. I don't know what that means, but Puneet says, I know the type. He only follows WhatsApp forwards. Piyush says, Heartstopper, Netflix, must watch show for anyone and especially for queers out there. Okay. Augusta says it's best not to focus on the Rushdie incident right now. There will be a lot of noise and things will look clear when dust settles in a few. Yeah, I'm not even looking at the news. I just want to make sure that, uh, you know, he has received care and that he's out of danger. That is all I would need to फाइंड कर, लाइक मैं यहाँ पे बैठ के न्यूयॉर्क के लिए क्या कर सकता हूँ? Um, there is a tweet by Javed Akhtar saying, I condemn the barbaric attack on Salman Rushdie by some fanatic. I hope New York police and court will take the strongest action possible against the attacker. Yeah, a lot of people are saying this. Um, संघियों का तो अभी मतलब सुप्रीम कोर्ट को गालियाँ देने का फिर से उनको मौका मिल गया है। जी, अभी जो पिछली बार जो हुआ था उसको लेके। ओके। कुछ लोगों ने फॉल्स न्यूज़ भी फैलाना शुरू कर दिया है विद फोटोग्राफ्स एंड स्टफ। बट दिस वाज बाउंड टू हैपन आई सपोज। लेट्स सी। Uh, Puneet says, Vimo, I'm sorry to say I've tried everything that you are advising. Nothing worked yet, and now we don't even talk anymore. Puneet, sometimes you just have to give up on it in order for your own mental peace. Take a break, stay away from him if he asks why, tell him why, be honest with him, but make it clear that you are not going to be cool with the kind of stuff that he's advocating. Maybe that will help. Manmat says, Vimo, what to say? My professor Subhash Bose, not Netaji, forced me to read Rushdie. He told, you want to free yourself from transliteration, language, and regional bias. Read Rushdie. He was so true. Well, Rushdie has had some problematic views as far as literature is concerned, also, because there was a time when he was a vociferous advocate of English literature only. He said we should stop paying attention to vernacular languages, etc., because English is everything, apparently. But that was like 2 decades ago. I don't know if that is still his view. And of course, there are other things also. There have been accusations of domestic violence and all that, especially from his former partner Padma Lakshmi also. Eman says, I mean, I saw the comments on the Rushdie post you shared, and it's full of people talking about the cult of Islam and what not like. Yeah, abhi wo hoga abhi 2 दिन तक. But right now, that is not even my main concern. I'm just worried about his health. We'll see what happens in 2 days. हम लोग कहाँ जा रहे हैं? MG says Bhakts are taking credit for failures of Lal Singh Chaddha. It failed because it's a bad movie. I haven't even seen it. Why are you spoiling films for me? Sumana says hello. Hi Sumana. Manmat says, Eman, thanks to Wimo, I did comb your YouTube channel. Good stuff. Lucky that I somehow stumbled upon it. Great. Eman को एक नया सब्सक्राइबर मिला. अरे खाली comb किया या सब्सक्राइब भी किया? Kavish says, sad to see the news. He's one of my favorite writers. पुनीत says, Wimo, अभी जौनपुर में एक केस हुआ है पाकिस्तान के एंड beheadings के नारे लगे हैं मुहर्रम के दिन. क्या पता यार. One of the things that religion does, it's a very twisted way of, like, imagine a gigantic animal that is eating parts of itself in order to survive. Because it's eating, it regenerates, but it's also destroying itself. So I think one of the ways in which religion survives is by generating hate for itself. If you take religion to be a monolith, of course religion is not a monolith, there are many religions. So Hinduism survives by damaging Islam. Islam survives by damaging Hinduism. Both religions survive by attacking Christianity. Christianity survives by damaging these religions. Conflict and damage to each other is a fundamental part of religiosity. Fundamental part. Without it, religion cannot exist. If people were actually happy and cool with each other and willing to live with each other in peace, there will be no religion. There will be no need for religion. That is why. Diamond Being says, why Asia, South Asia lives in past and is against change exploration. क्या एशिया साउथ एशिया, ये अटैक न्यूयॉर्क में हुआ है. ये जो सलमान रश्दी के ऊपर अटैक हुआ है ये तो अमेरिका में हुआ है. किसी ने बोला कि अगर अमेरिका में हो सकता है तो यहाँ पे भी हो सकता है. दैट वाज लाइक कि लिसन, यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट अ कंट्री वेयर देयर चिल्ड्रन आर मर्डर्ड इन देयर स्कूल्स एंड दीज गाइज डोंट डू एनीथिंग अबाउट इट. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि अमेरिका इज अ यूटोपिया वेयर ये वहाँ ये चीज़ें होना बहुत बड़ी बात है. वहाँ बहुत होता है. Childhood says people who attack others to save their religion invite more hatred against people of their own religion. They just love the religion, not the people who are actual followers. Yeah. And take like what it's like loving a flag and not liking the country. Puneet says, exactly, it needs something to fight constantly. कुछ नहीं होगा तो वो टॉपिक बना रहेगा. Munmun says, literary writing style of Rushdie is so dense and complex. It's so demanding to its reader, but prose writing is next level. Okay. Yeah, even I find his writing a bit hard to follow. And I have read him, but it's difficult for me. But I also know people who are like die-hard Rushdie fans. Let me look at the trends again. Let's see if something new has happened. Okay, same old stuff. Stab wound to the neck, airlifted to the hospital. Yeah, nope. Anything in the latest tab? No, it's just world media coverage. This thing is spreading fast. Let's see. Yashwant says, I hope he survives. Yeah, I hope he survives. And by the way, for a writer to have spent decades writing books, creating joy in people's lives, etc., etc., there are going to be people who have hated him their entire lives. There are going to be people who are going to celebrate his death if something untoward happens, whenever it happens. But all of those people are going to live miserable lives and die miserable deaths. No one is going to know who they are. No one is going to remember them after they're dead. Salman Rushdie has cemented his position in the world. He's never going away. So I hope he recovers. But his work is in any case immortal. Kaushal says, regarding religion gives rise to conflict. Very true. I was just reading Hegel and his idea of how identity is defined by its negation. Yeah. In groups and out groups. Religion's purpose is to define in groups and out groups. When people say that religion teaches unity, what they forget to mention is that it teaches unity among people who belong to it, or people at least who are sympathetic to it. Puneet says this was supposed to be a fun chat. Damn you religions. Yeah, man. Friday night go. Manmat says, forget that brain dead boycott thing. That was not warranted at all. The fact that Lal Singh is something I strongly detest. Many mistakes, caricaturish, plasticky. Why did AK did what he did? Please stop telling me about the movie. I have not seen it. I have not seen the film. Please stop spoiling it for me. Breeze says, have you read Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky? No, I have not. Hmm, let's see. Yeah, and also like Salman Rushdie is like one of the things that is happening is that people are saying there was not proper security at the event. But I just was watching NDTV and Shashi Tharoor was there, and he said he has met Salman Rushdie for dinner and lunch, and Salman Rushdie goes around without security because he apparently does not like the idea of living in constant protection because that means that these people have won. So he tries to live without security. So this may be because of that only. Eman is gone for dinner. Kavish says, will be interesting to see how Godi media covers it. They have already started covering it. I don't watch Godi media, but it's pretty predictable what they're going to do. It's not a great big mystery what will happen. मोड क्या है सर क्या डिस्कशन चल रहा है थोड़ा कॉन्टेक्स्ट दो मोड क्या है कुछ कॉन्टेक्स्ट एक्चुअली फ्राइडे नाइट का चिल स्ट्रीम होना था बट माई मूड जस्ट फेल इन टू द वेल व्हेन आई हर्ड अबाउट सलमान रश्दी गेटिंग स्टैब्ड इन न्यूयॉर्क सो यू मोस्टली जस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट आई डोंट थिंक आज का लाइव स्ट्रीम में 1 घंटे तक कर पाऊंगा मैं शायद आधे घंटे में आज का लाइव स्ट्रीम खत्म कर दूँ आई एम सॉरी गाइस बट it's a bummer day, it's a bummer topic, it's a bummer stream, and I don't know what to talk about. Usually I'm so full of ideas. Today it's like my mind is completely fixated on this one thing. अभी तो 20 मिनट हुए हैं देखते हैं 10 मिनट बाद अगर कोई खबर आती है इफ गुड न्यूज़ कम्स एंड ही इज ओके देन मे बी आई हैव एनर्जी बट राइट नाउ आई एम जस्ट सिंकिंग Kaushal says, changing the subject, I saw the panel of Radiant Comics about Asur Lok elections regarding how much you have changed since you wrote it. How do you look back? How do you look back on it, dude? I don't actually remember much about that comic about Asur Lok elections regarding how much you changed. I have changed a lot since I wrote it. So, in case anyone doesn't know, Kaushal is talking about a comic book that I wrote like 10 to 15, 13 to 15 years ago. And that book is coming out now. And I have been warning people to read it with a pinch of salt because I was a very different person then. My writing was not very good. My writing is still not very good, but it was even worse back then. So I don't remember what is in the story. Honestly, I don't remember. I am still to receive my copy. My copy came, but mobile पे OTP नहीं आया इसलिए वो आदमी वापस लेके चला गया. So I think they're sending it again. It'll come when it comes. I'll read it and then I'll be either blown away or disappointed in myself. Zia says, "Hey Vimo, do you know what exactly were the controversial writings by Rushdie which prompted the fatwas?" He wrote a book called Satanic Verses, which was exposing certain verses written in the Quran. And that is why fatwas were issued against him. Most prominently, ईरान से फतवा ayatollah khomeini ने किया था. And it is being widely suspected that the attack on Rushdie has something to do with that fatwa. Hmm. Nope, no news, just the same. Murkia says, what stabbed? Yes, stabbed in the neck. वो भी. Diamond says, isn't it minority appeasement? Diamond, कुछ भी minority appeasement नहीं होता. किस चीज़ की बात कर रहे हो? It's a 9-day meat ban enforced. Diamond, today is the wrong day to talk about all of this. Just stick to the topic that we have to discuss. I will happily answer all your questions later on, but इस समय ये झमेला यहाँ पे मत create करो. Abhinash says, I can't hate Godi media enough. हर बात का हिंदू मुस्लिम बना देंगे. Yeah. अरे उनका like I think one of the biggest tragedies for anyone who works in these organizations is that ये लोगों ने जर्नलिज्म किया क्यों था? They wanted to do journalism, right? But they are in organizations which are not actually doing journalism. These are creative writing workshops. कुछ ऊपर से ऑर्डर आता है, आइडिया आता है, राइटिंग प्रॉम्प्ट आता है, एडिटर कुछ लिख डालता है और ये लोग 4 दिन तक उसी को पेलते रहते हैं. देयर इज नो जर्नलिज्म हैपनिंग. ग्राउंड रिपोर्टिंग के ऊपर तो फोकस हट ही गया है. They're just taking agency copy or opinion pieces from political quarters. So उनको मीडिया बोलना भी मीडिया का अपमान है. These are entertainment channels now. मोड says कोई अभी का रीजन है. सेटानिक वर्सेस तो काफी पहले का है ना. हाँ, सेटानिक वर्सेस 30 साल पुराना है, बट उसी के लिए ही मोस्ट प्रोबेबली ये हुआ है. दैट्स व्हाट पीपल आर सेइंग. अगेन वी डोंट नो. Battler says, do we know what the identity of the culprit who stabbed Rushdie is? No, no information yet. Apparently, he has been apprehended, but there is no further information. Sumana says, Bojack Horseman shows the cruel reality of the US. It's darkly funny. Yes. Munmun says, in Midnight Children by Rushdie, the story progresses with different events of India. Forrest Gump plot kind of similar to the format. Strange. Surendra Babu says, your views on abuse of copyright claim in YouTube by Sadhguru and similar channels. क्या व्यू हो सकता है? My view is that this is wrong और क्या? इसके बारे में like what other view were you expecting? These guys can't stand criticism, and of because they don't have any legit way of countering the questions and the criticisms that are raised against them, they use the copyright system. Okay, YouTube is aware of this, by the way. YouTube is aware of this, and YouTube has also in recent times begun making some changes to the system. For example, पहले जो appeal process को 30 दिन लगता था, now they have reduced it down to 7 days. So I think in the coming days there might be other measures also about this. Stabbed. नप कुछ नहीं है. कुछ कंफर्म न्यूज़ नहीं आ रहा अभी तक. Robert says, Hellbound. You should watch Hellbound Regiment, everyone. Kavish says, separate topic. Have you watched Sandman? Episode 6 is one of the best ones I've seen lately. You need to do a separate episode on gutter space, talk apart from the rest of the series. We have already recorded our conversation about Sandman. It's going to come out आज Friday है ना, कल आएगा, कल चैनल पे आ जाएगा. You should be able to see it. And yes, I have seen Sandman, and so has Ashwin, and we both loved it. Ridhima says, "Do you think Umar will get bail this year?" Ridhima, how am I supposed to know this? Honestly, how am I supposed to know? I think that if he got bail today, it will be too late. And to like, let's not even talk about this year. I retroactively, I wish that he had not even been jailed. So clearly, my views on this are clear. But as to whether this it will happen this year or not, how can I say? How would I know? What information do I have to make that claim? Munmun says main characters, twins born on midnight of 1947, one stayed in Pakistan and one in India. They have magical connection. Yeah. Gunduchi says, "Hey folks, pasta, pizza, forget about it." Gunduchi is having fun with family right now. Osen says, "I don't remember, but wasn't India under Rajiv one of the first countries to ban satanic verses that started a chain reaction of sorts?" I don't know if the chain reaction was started by India, but yes, the book was banned in India for some time. Abby says media should invariably be critical of the government, no matter who is in power. सरकार के अच्छे काम का advertisement करना Ministry of Information and Broadcasting का काम है. Yeah, I had a conversation with a friend of my cousin some time ago, and he was like, हाँ तो अच्छा चीज़ भी तो दिखाना चाहिए ना. And I said no, नहीं दिखाना चाहिए. अच्छा चीज़ दिखाने के लिए सरकार के पास बहुत पावर है. सरकार के पास पैसा है, वो प्रसार भारती के थ्रू वो सब कर सकती है. जब कोई पत्रकार बनता है, उसका बाय डेफिनिशन काम ही होता है सरकार के प्रति सस्पिशियस रहना. Sovana says spirituality leaders and world leaders must have mandatory therapy lessons. Everyone should. Everyone should. Vishwas says given that few folks are suggesting shows, sharing one, The Good Place. I have seen The Good Place. Monmon says Naipaul wrote an extremely critical book on India named Area of Darkness in 1970s. Yes, he did. He did indeed. Hmm. अरे कहाँ गया रे फिर से ये टैब हमेशा बंद क्यों हो जाता है लेटेस्ट condition unknown everyone is thinking I hope he's fine condition unknown by the way आज का एपिसोड शायद पॉडकास्ट पे नहीं जाएगा because there is no material in it. It's just me sitting here wondering what the duck has happened. For those who joined late, I'm a little down today because of the news of the attack on Salman Rushdie. And therefore आज का लाइव स्ट्रीम शायद 1 घंटे हो भी नहीं पाएगा. I'm already feeling tired after talking for 28 minutes 41 seconds. पुनीत से सिर्फ नेगेटिव दिखाएंगे तो डिप्रेशन हो जाएगा सबको. दिस इज द आर्ग्यूमेंट माय फ्रेंड हैज गिवन काउंटलेस टाइम्स व्हेन आई सेड दे हैव मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ इन्फॉर्मेशन एंड ब्रॉडकास्ट. हाँ, तुम्हारा फ्रेंड बहुत जीनियस है. तुम्हारे जीवन में इतने सारे जीनियस लोग क्यों हैं भाई? Kindle Story says, do collab with Science Journey. Kindle Story, I have had Pranav on this channel multiple times. There are at least 2 interviews with him on my channel and one on the other main channel, youtube.com/Vimo. And yeah, if you want, you can watch those. There is also plan of doing collabs in the future. Whenever that happens, you will get notified. By the way, I did want to talk to you guys about... Arey, thanks, Gonduchi, for the 179 rupees ka super sticker. Much appreciated. Again, if someone wants to support the show, I know I'm not giving people a lot of reasons today to support the show because there is no material. Because, I'm feeling down. But if you want to join the channel, you can click the join button below and you can become a member. And if you want to support me on Patreon, you can do so at patreon.com/Vimo. But I'm not even feeling like talking about that stuff today. Munmun says, Vimo, sleep early. No point waiting for updates. Munmun, I anyway sleep a little late, so it's okay. I'll wait to see what happens. There should be some update today. Twitter is useful, but Twitter is also bleak, somebody has pointed out. अरे भाई, आज ही ये टाइम मिला लोगों को कि मैंने बचपन में सलमान रश्दी के साथ मीटिंग की थी, वही सब शेयर कर रहे हैं. जब भी किसी वेल नोन पर्सन को कुछ होता है, लोग उनके साथ लिए हुए फ़ोटोज़ क्यों शेयर करना शुरू कर देते हैं? राइट नाउ ओनली पोस्ट इफ यू नो व्हाट हैज़ हैपेंड टू हिम। एनीवे, श्रेया सेज जिस दिन गवर्नमेंट के होर्डिंग्स लगने और एड्स आने लगने लग जाएँगे अबाउट देयर मिस्टेक्स एंड शॉर्टकमिंग्स अपोलोजाइजिंग टू द नेशन, उस दिन हम बैलेंसिंग की बात करेंगे मीडिया में। तब तक जस्ट शट द फक अप। यप। Manmat says 30 minutes into it, thanks that nothing worse about Rushdie has popped up. Of course, he has been assaulted. Let's hope. Yeah, I hope. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point actually. 30 minutes have, like, I'm not thinking straight. 30 minutes have passed, so I suppose the fact that no dire news has come must be a good thing, right? Aditya says, Vimo, technical question. How much money reaches you when we give these super stickers? YouTube keeps 30%. Twitch keeps 50%, YouTube keeps 30%, Patreon keeps 20 to 25%. The best option is just send money directly to my UPI ID. I'll share my UPI ID. Hold on, if anyone wants to. Mm, this is my UPI ID. If anyone wants to send money directly, you can send here. Leave a note so I know who has sent it. बट यूट्यूब से जो पैसा आता है उसका एक कट यूट्यूब रखता है, ट्विच कट रखता है, पेट्रियन कट रखता है, हर कोई कट रखता है। यू कैन ऑल्सो सिंपली गो टू vimo.stck.me which is my blog and click the support button and just make a donation there। वहाँ भी काफ़ी कम कटता है। बट लाइव स्ट्रीम का ये है कि यूट्यूब का जो एड मनी है, जो लाइव स्ट्रीम चैट्स हैं, जो मेंबरशिप ये है, the goal is to not take a lot of money from one person. The goal is to have contributions from a lot of people. So अगर एक आदमी 1,000 रुपये दे रहा है और उस आदमी ने एक दिन देना बंद कर दिया तो 1,000 रुपये कम हो गया। पर अगर 10 लोग 100 रुपये दे रहे हैं, it is easy on them and it is easy on me also because if one person stops, I still have 900 rupees. So वैसा है। Hmm. Kaushal says regarding Asurlok elections, oh god, this Kaushal is telling me details from a story that I myself wrote 10 years, 15 years ago. Asurlok elections, it shows Asuras electing their leaders with a battle royale. But now that we think there is casteism behind Asura Raksha portrayals, was wondering what you think now. Right now, if I wrote a story, that is not what I would do. My intention behind it, I think, was to show that they uh, value strength over everything else, and that is a common motif in fantasy, by the way. Even in Star Trek, Klingons often decide uh, often reach decisions about merit by a show of strength, and maybe that is where I got it from, etc., etc. But yeah, the stories that I write today are very different. Again, this is 15 years old. That's why I keep saying take it with a pinch of salt. Raj says, how has Indian middle class become so brainwashed against Gandhi and Nehru? On the contrary, as an Indian, I feel honored that such great figures blessed not only India but humanity as a whole. Constant and repeated propaganda against people will do this. So I suppose that is the reason. Although Gandhi and Nehru were not, great and godly figures, they were human beings. And I don't think we should treat any historical figure like great and godly because they were all flawed in one way or another. Gentle Joffrey says, as Anthony Jeselnik once said, something bad happened somewhere to someone, but don't forget about me. Surendra says, I have come to the conclusion to not care about existence of God and not be associated with ist, example atheist, and ism. What are people like me called? You may be described as like there is no philosophical position for that describes you, but there is a word called apatheist, apatheist, atheist की जगह apatheist, who are apathetic about God and religion and all of this. So maybe that word applies to you. शेयर सेज तो इट्स बेटर ना कि सीधा आपके ब्लॉग पे ही पैसा भेजे, नहीं उधर कितना कट लेते हैं? उधर कट लेते हैं बट उतना बड़ा कट नहीं होता जितना कि पेट्रियन और यूट्यूब का होता है। और मैं तो वही कहता हूँ, मैं सबको कहता हूँ कि वहीं पे भेजो, दैट इज़ द बेस्ट वे बिकॉज आई गेट मोस्ट ऑफ द मनी दैट यू सेंड देयर। Uh, the other option is UPI, which I don't share publicly because I don't know, I have a fixation. But YouTube को इसलिए मैं encourage करता हूँ क्योंकि YouTube is the method paying through which is common for most people. Scrollstack, Stack.me को बहुत से लोग यूज़ नहीं करते, बट यूट्यूब पे कैसे पे करना है सबको पता है. पीपल अटेंड अदर लाइव स्ट्रीम्स, दे नो हाउ थिंग्स वर्क. सो जो फेमिलियरिटी फैक्टर है दैट समटाइम्स हेल्प्स. अरे अनम इज हियर. हाय अनम. Abhinash says, Surendra Babu, Buddha had similar ideas to not bother about existence of God. मूड क्या है? सेज आपको इतना क्यों फ़र्क पड़ा इस न्यूज़ से? आई मीन मेरे को काफ़ी फ़र्क पड़ा था इरफान सर के डेथ के टाइम. पता नहीं क्यों बट काफ़ी अलग था वो, सेलिब्रिटी के लिए फर्स्ट टाइम फ़ील हुआ. मुझे फ़र्क इसलिए पड़ता है क्योंकि मैं भी उसी प्रोफ़ेशन में हूँ बेटा. इसलिए मैं जब किसी राइटर के साथ कुछ होते देखता हूँ तो मुझे लगता है मेरे साथ हो रहा है. हो सकता है, हम सबके साथ होता है. राइटर्स के ऊपर फ्रीक्वेंटली अटैक्स होते हैं, थ्रेट्स मिलते हैं वगैरह, वगैरह. And Salman Rushdie is someone who, when I was in college, like my first girlfriend gifted me a novel by Salman Rushdie. So that is why, uh, that is not the only reason why, but I was in college, so you can imagine a lifetime of association with writers. When I search for writing advice on YouTube, I get videos uh, from Salman Rushdie talking about writing. I have playlists full of writers' advice. Like आजकल मैं लिख रहा हूँ, and whenever I'm writing, I try to not distract myself. Like तुम पूरे दिन लिख नहीं सकते. कभी ना कभी तुम YouTube पे कुछ देखोगे. So I keep videos that are about writing, and I watch them only, so that I completely remain in the frame of mind. And half those videos are by Salman Rushdie. Anam has sent 1.99 euro का super sticker. Thanks Anam, thanks a lot, means a lot. श्रेया says प्रॉब्लम इज कि लोगों को पहले ये मानना पड़ेगा कि उनके होली बुक्स इंसानों ने लिखे हैं जिसमें चेंज लाने की ज़रूरत है. एज लॉन्ग एज दे कीप ट्रीटिंग इट एज द एब्सोल्यूट वर्ड ऑफ गॉड, कुछ नहीं होना. या दैट्स ट्रू. Diamond Being says, what is the difference between strength and power in terms of society and reforms? Well, it depends on usage. You can sometimes use the two words interchangeably. You can say that someone powerful has a lot of strength, but usually strength has to do with physicality, and power can be political or other kind of power. Agastya says Gandhi was extremely problematic. Recent research into his life in South Africa shows that he harbored racist sentiments towards black Africans. Yes. The response to that that is usually followed up is that Gandhi, like any normal human being, had a learning curve. वो बचपन से महान नहीं थे, उनमें बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम्स थे. As time passed, his views have changed. My views have changed. You all know this. So we should not treat Gandhi as one person. We should not treat anyone as one person. We should treat them as an amalgam of experiences and expressions throughout their whole life. Now, suppose Gandhi was a racist in South Africa, but later he stopped being a racist, and later he also stopped writing. So the only writings we will have about him will be about his racist behavior. सो लोगों को पूरी तरह से देवता मत बनाओ, लोगों को पूरी तरह से राक्षस भी मत बनाओ, या असुर. अगेन राक्षस असुर मेटाफर इज प्रॉब्लमैटिक. लोगों को पूरी तरह से अच्छा या पूरी तरह से बुरा मत सोचो, क्योंकि लोग बस लोग होते हैं. Aditya says the attack happened around 11 a.m. local time as Mr. Rushdie was being introduced before he was about to speak. Now it's been a while and no bad news yet. I'm beginning to feel positive. Yeah, good. I hope that is true. Let me check one more time. I'm sorry, guys. This is not going to leave my head. Uh, okay. अभी भी वही news. Attacked. No confirmation. Hmm. There is a tweet by Audrey Trushke, but there are other tweets also. People are mostly just condemning it. Hmm. Oh God. There are some details that I don't want to share on screen. No, but there is no news about what has happened to him. Small people, small minded, narrow minded fucks. Vishwas says, since you mentioned that you might be signing off soon, just dropping it here as a topic for another day. Essentialism versus non essentialism in Indian religion, society, context, and how it is shaping views. Okay, so because Vishwas has mentioned this, I should also clarify something else, which is that I'm going to take a break sometime soon from the live stream. Not a very long break, maybe couple of weeks, but I want to write something. And the problem, not the problem, the thing about long form writing is that you have to essentially devote the whole day to it. So I might be occasionally doing a live stream, but the daily live stream will take a break for some time. And आज क्या है? आज है फ्राइडे। सो आई थिंक मैं मंडे ट्यूसडे वेडनेसडे को लाइव स्ट्रीम करूँगा और उसके बाद मैं 1-2 हफ्ते का ब्रेक लूँगा और उन 2 हफ्तों के बीच में शायद मैं वीडियोज़ डालूँगा, पर शायद लाइव स्ट्रीम ना करूँ बिकॉज़ आई विल लाइव स्ट्रीम्स आर लाइक अ डेली रिचुअल राइट नाउ, राइट? So they get in the way of writing. So what I'm going to do is that after Wednesday, I'm going to take a couple of weeks off from YouTube, from Instagram, from everywhere. Occasionally, I'll put up a video or something, but the daily live streams will be halted for a period of 2 weeks. So I'm informing you in advance because I'm going to write something. Today evening, I wrote a lot, by the way. I wrote a lot. I wrote 1000 words का अभी तक तो 1000 words लिखा है, but a brand new story has come to me and I'm writing it and I'm quite excited about it. And that is also one of the reasons why this news hit me so hard because I was thinking about all the people whose writings have inspired me, or rather, whose work about writings has inspired me. Hmm. Nope, no news yet. No bad news yet. So I guess that's something to be somewhat hopeful about. श्रेया says ये actions justified है उनके होली बुक्स में क्या ही बदलाव ला सकते हैं हम एज अ सोसाइटी until we start criticizing the text written in their holy books बट ये करने पे XYZ phobic बोल दिया जाता है. Again, Shreyas, it has to do with power structures. I have no problem criticizing the bad things done in the name of Islam. I have no problem criticizing the bad things done in the name of Hinduism. But if our words are going to add to the problems of a certain community, we should be careful about saying those words. Salman Rushdie criticizing Islam, Salman Rushdie was criticizing a tradition that he grew up with. How many Hindus who are extreme fans of Salman Rushdie for criticizing Islam have ever criticized their own religion? दूसरे के धर्म के बारे में मजाक उड़ाने में हमेशा सबको बहुत मजा आता है. But if there is one thing to be learned from Salman Rushdie, it is that the tradition that you are most in the tradition that you grew up in, if you think that it is bad for humanity, you should have no hesitation in abandoning it. You should have no hesitation in criticizing it. I would much rather see the result as not more criticism of Islam. I would rather see it as more criticism by people of their own religion, because if they don't do it, then who will do it? If someone else does it, they will happily call them enemies of my religion, which is what we are seeing all over the place in any case. Diamond Being says, shouldn't internet be declared as public good necessity and made free for all? I agree. Yes, it should be done. Diamond says we should not glorify Gandhi. He was actually a conservative and against modernity. Yeah, there are aspects of his work that can be interpreted that way. Raj says, among the freedom fighters, who do you relate and admire the most? Gandhi, Nehru, Bhagat Singh, Bose, Savarkar, or anyone else of your choice? I don't really. I think they're historical figures. They had their own priorities when they were in circulation. Their views on things had to do with their lives experiences. I don't think you can live in the year 2022 and live according to the principles laid down by people who lived in pre 1940 India. Anam says, Vimod, there is this really funny Dutch joke. I wish I could explain it to you. Okay, try. Give it a try. मूड क्या है says, इस टाइप का रिलेशन मेरा खालिद हुसैनी के साथ है. द काइट रनर मेरा फर्स्ट नॉवल था और इतना हम कभी नहीं रोए थे. Yeah. Everyone has one. S says, what do you think is the root cause? By the way, Salman Rushdie is not my favorite author. He's not. So many of his books I can't even get through. But what he represents as an author, what he represents as a dissident, what he represents as a voice against a very domineering religious ideology, that I really appreciate as an atheist also. Shubham says, can you tell me whether Vedas are older than Buddha or not? Because Vedas are written in Sanskrit and Sanskrit was only got written Devanagari Lipi, but the evidence of Devanagari Lipi is after Buddha. That is true. The explanation that Hindus offer for this is that the Vedas are Shruti tradition, which means they were not written down for a long time and they were only passed on by, you know, oral tradition. So that may be a reason. But if you listen to Science Journey and other scholars, they say that Vedas are actually not older than the Buddha. So do the maths. Megha says, have you read the letters between Gandhi and Tagore? If yes, whose side do you take? I like Tagore's take on how inculcating the feeling of nationalism in people is a problem. I like Tagore's take also. I disagree with a lot of things Gandhi said, but Gandhi was trying to unite people in a struggle for independence, and Tagore was making a more academic point. But yes, I do agree with Tagore more. I have not read the letters, by the way. I have only read Tagore's views about nationalism. श्रेया सेज बेस्ट थिंग इज दैट रिलीजियस लोगों ने अपने बुक्स पूरे पढ़ने चाहिए। मैं तो एनकरेज करता हूँ उसको, बिकॉज़ आई एम श्योर मैक्सिमम लोग इतने बुरे नहीं होंगे कि पूरा पढ़ने के बाद भी सपोर्ट करते हैं। या एग्ज़ैक्टली। बट हियर्स द थिंग, रिलीजियस बुक्स के साथ कमेंट्रीज़ आती हैं, हिंदुइज़्म में भी, इस्लाम में भी, एंड दोज़ कमेंट्रीज़ आर बाय पीपल हू आर अलाइव एंड दे आर एबल टू स्पिन थिंग्स इन अ वे दैट मेक पीपल थिंक दैट हाँ, नहीं कुछ तो पॉइंट होगा इस सब में। सो दैट गोज़ अ लॉन्ग वे इन कीपिंग दीज़ थिंग्स रेलेवेंट। Nobody reads religious books without commentary. That is the problem. And the commentators are usually people who are profiting from the religion. Right. Mm, mm, यानी कोई क्या तो शेयर कर रहे सब. There is no confirmed news and the amount of unconfirmed news is just increasing by the minute. कोई बोल रहा है कोई पाकिस्तानी था, कोई फोटो शेयर कर रहा है, कोई बोल रहा है ये सही फोटो नहीं है. But this is going to happen. I don't think we are going to have a clear picture about this until uh, much later. Anyway, guys, it's 48 minutes now. I don't think I have the energy to go on any further. I am sorry for this. I did want to do a much more chill live stream today. And I don't think this is going on the podcast either. Maybe I'll collect my thoughts at a later point and do an audio episode and then we'll talk more. But ये क्या है? Shreya says, wait. Did someone just call Savarkar a freedom fighter? He was a freedom fighter. You can call his apology letters written for his own freedom as an act of fighting for freedom. So yeah. Megha says, do you like Noam Chomsky's writing? Yes, I do. Eman is back, but Eman is just back in time to see me go away. But anyway, guys, thank you for joining today. I'm sorry that I cannot do a whole hour's live stream because I'm not really feeling that good. My mind is very distracted by the Salman Rushdie news. I will see you all on Monday. And on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and after Wednesday, I will repeat. After Wednesday, I'm taking a couple of weeks ka break from the live stream. Occasionally, I may still put up some video, but Wednesday से 2 हफ्ते तक मैं लाइव स्ट्रीम नहीं करूँगा क्योंकि आई वांट टू फोकस ऑन राइटिंग अ लिटिल बिट. मैं हो सकता है बीच में एक लाइव स्ट्रीम करूँ, but for the most part, it will be a 2 week whole break from social media itself. And I hope you can forgive me, but I hope you can forgive me for tonight, and later ka forgiveness I'll ask on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But thank you for joining, and I will see you all on Monday at 10 p.m. I hope you have a great weekend. गटर स्पेस का अगला एपिसोड कल आएगा चैनल पे. सो दोज ऑफ यू वांट टू सी आवर ओपिनियन अबाउट सैंडमैन, you can do so. You can watch the gutter space episode tomorrow, and then there'll be Sunday, then there'll be Monday, and I'll see you on Monday at 10 p.m. Until then, bye bye, have a great weekend.